Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you guys how you can make a windscreen for yourselves. Very versatile and very slick looking windscreen. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of alcohol stoves, these two in particular, if you see my last video. Now, alcohol stoves require a windscreen to get the most performance out of them. So some people have asked me, what do I use for a windscreen? And I've tried several things. I've tried aluminum foil, and I'll get into why that didn't work for me very well. But what I've come up with is I make a little windscreen out of a couple beer cans, and I make it so that it slides together kind of like a dovetail joint kind of. It's really just a fold, like on a hem of clothing. It kind of holds itself together there, and it has some air vent holes, and then you drop a stove in, and there's your windscreen right there. And they look pretty sharp because made out of beer cans, so you can showcase your favorite brews. This happens to be Heady Topper out of Vermont, I believe. Very good beer. Hard to come by. So anyway, that's what I like to use for a windscreen. And the nice thing about it is if you have a tall pot like this GSI Pinnacle Duelist, you can use 16-ounce cans or 22-ounce cans and make yourself a taller one. And also, this one uses 3 cans, that other one uses 2. And that's the nice thing, is you can just make it as big around and as tall as you need for your purposes, and it's real nice. Other nice thing about them is that they come apart real easy, and they store rolled up right inside of your pot. They'll suck out to the side so you can get, you lose practically no volume. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be building today. Just FYI, that one was made from Goodnight by a Colorado brewery, Oscar Blues. One of the best beers ever made. So enough about that. That's what we're going to be making. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. We'll go over the materials you're going to need next. Alright, so the materials you're going to need, obviously a couple beer cans. In the spirit of the channel, I figured we'll do Colorado Kolsch Ale, brewed by Steamworks. And obviously, of course, soda cans would work equally well. You'll need a pocket knife. I recommend something that's a little bit more of a beater, or something you can sharpen easily, because we're going to be cutting some aluminum with it. It's a little hard on the blade. Some junky scissors, a piece of wood or some kind of straight edge that has a nice hard 90-degree edge on it. Could be metal, doesn't have to be wood, but some kind of straight edge. And then optionally, some foil tape and a Sharpie. Not necessary, but they can be handy depending on how you want to go. So let's get started. Alright, first thing you want to do is remove the pull top off your beer can, and then this one, handily enough, has some lines drawn around it that go around the circumference that I can use to cut this. I want this flat piece of the side wall all in one piece. The Sharpie comes in, if you don't have a mark like that, you can take it, set it up on, a deck of cards or something, and spin the can and make your mark. So that's the optional Sharpie where it comes in. But since I've got the nice lines on this one, you take your knife and you're going to plunge it in up here above the top line. Just be careful, don't cut yourself, take it slow. And do the same on the bottom. The bottom's a little tougher, it's a little thicker aluminum. Kind of got to work the blade in, but then I found that with the Swiss Army knife, like a rocking motion kind of helps. But just be careful. I'll come back when I get it all cut out to expedite the video. Okay, so now I've got the bottom and top cut off roughly with the Swiss Army knife. Scissors come in. You just come in and make a real shallow angle, and we're basically just going to trim up the cuts. I'm going to use this white line here, and this white line you can barely see up here. That basically gives me the flat section. So we'll just come around and trim that up with the can. Once again, I'll be back when I get it all done. Okay, I've used the scissors to trim off the rough cut, and now I have a nice cut up and down. Next thing you're going to want to do is find yourself a good vertical line, and we're going to slice the can longitudinally. This one, again, is nice. It has this nice warning label with the barcode. Gives me a perfect line right there. If your can doesn't have one of these, a good place to look is to find where the paint, see that darker blue line? It's where the paint around the can is basically overlapped. Most cans have that, and that works as a good marker too. So we're just going to cut this along one of the edges and all the way up longitudinally, like so. Come in from this other side. These scissors are not the best. Alright, like that. So, now, next step is to do this. Repeat this for as many cans as you need. You'll need a minimum of 2, maybe 3, depending on your pot. So, I'll be back when I've made another one of these. Okay, I've got the 2 cans cut up so that we just have them as one flat piece now. So the next thing you want to do is figure out how tall you need your windscreen to be. And a good way to do that is if you have a stove that you like to use a lot and a pot you like to use a lot, kind of set them up like so, and you're going to want to see, you don't want the windscreen to get in the way of the handle when this is sitting down. So I'm lifting it up here just because the camera angle shows it better, but it's easiest to do it, set it down on the table. Figure out, are you too tall or not. You want to be a little taller than your handle because you're going to see we're going to fold the edges over like this completed one. And you don't have to cut your can. You can just fold that bottom edge over like this. Anyway, we'll get to that. Or you can cut it now. So if you want to cut off some more around the side, like maybe I could use this other white line if I wanted to make it shorter, you can do that. So as it stands, these will work fine for this pot. So we are ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so cut aluminum, nasty sharp edges. So we're going to do something about that, and also proceed with building the can or the windscreen at the same time. What you want to do is take the can and choose one of the sides where you want the joint to be. And if you're using multiple cans, you'll obviously just repeat this as necessary. You come in with your straight edge there. And you want to go, somewhere around 1/4 of an inch, I'd say. It doesn't need to be precise, and it can help if you kind of get something in here like this knife to lift up that edge. And you want to press down, and basically what we're just going to do is make a fold. Whoop, flying off the table. So we just make a fold like that, and that straight edge gives us a nice straight crease, and then we can go ahead and just fold it over. Just work it real slowly so it doesn't kink on us. Like so. Come back in with that straight edge. Man, this is a rowdy one. And we'll just kind of take it and press down. And that kind of seals that up. What you do not want to do is take something hard and like rub and really crease that over. It'll actually break the aluminum. So just get it, finger tight. If you just pinch it on that seam, just like so. And then what we want to do is do the opposite to this can. I have this one rolled with the paint side in. This time I'm going to take this and roll it the other way. So I'll be back when I get that done. Okay, so I've got the 2 folds done. This one has the paint side going in, and this side has the paint side rolled over the outside. So now the 2 cans, if you did it right, if you interlock those 2 folds, which is a bit tricky to do now, but we'll make it easier on ourselves a little later. They'll slide together, and that's how you've increased now, the circumference of your windscreen. Like so. And obviously if you need it to be bigger, you just add a 3rd can. Now, I mentioned the foil tape earlier as an option, and if all this folding of the can seams is getting annoying, you can just use foil tape. Put some on one strip in here, another on the inside, and that'll hold up just fine. It'll stand up to the heat. It'll cover some of the cool looking paint, but it's a lot easier. So if you're just looking for practicality, foil tape is the way to go. So the next thing we want to do is, you can see this has a propensity to coil up into its original shape. So what we want to do is kind of use the edge of the table. This is kind of out of frame, but you'll get the idea. I'm just going to roll it out a little bit, try to get some of that memory out of the cans. It's okay if they come apart for this. Sorry, it's really crinkly too. See, that's a little better, the comparison between the two. So we just want to roll some of that memory out. I'll just make it a little easier to work with down the line, just like so. All right, next step we want to do, take our cans and get them put back together. All right, now we've taken care of this sharp edge. We still have a sharp edge on the other three sides. And what we want to do to make sure that these can't slide apart is we're going to fold the top edge down and the bottom edge up. Just the same way as before. We're going to roll this out. We're going to use our straight edge, come in like so, and put a crease in it and fold that edge up. It might take me a second to do it. I don't want the video going too long, so I'll be back when I get this started. Okay, after a bit of persuasion, get it started there, and you'll see it. Now it's much easier to work with. It's not trying to roll up on me. So I've got the bottom and the top seams rolled over. I go at least a 1/4 inch. Like I said, you can go a little more if you're trying to adjust the height. Because whatever you end up with here between the folds will be the final height of your windscreen. And then same as before, we'll just take that seam that we got started, kind of slowly work it over. Take your time, be patient. And then we'll come in with our straight edge or piece of wood, whatever, press down and finish off the crease. Then we'll do the same to the other side and I'll be back. Okay, I've got both ends all sealed up here, and one thing I did off camera just to try to expedite things, you're going to take that seam you folded over, and the last 1/2 inch on top, bottom, both sides, you're going to trim that off so it's not folded over. It's just one piece of material thick there. And you'll see it's really flat right now, and that's because I haven't really creased these folds. So what I'm going to do is you start creasing those folds, and as you do so, you'll notice that the can will start to, that memory will come back and it'll start rolling back up, which is good. We want that because that's what makes it roll up inside our pot so nice. So the whole time we're doing this, again, be careful. You may want to wear gloves because there are sharp pieces of aluminum. I've never cut myself bad, but it's more like little splinters of aluminum that get in you. Not fun, so wear gloves if you'd like, but I find that it messes with my dexterity a little bit to do that. So it's starting to roll a little bit now. Another thing we can do, I'm just using the camera here so I'm not working off camera, to get that crease back, take the edge of a table and just kind of roll it, similar to what we did to get that memory out of it. And now you'll see the curvature is coming back to it, so we can just keep working that. We can also take a pot, you know, roll it around a pot. That'll also work. Anyway, just work it a little bit until it starts to roll up about, you know, so that these two ends will meet and there's not a lot of spring to it like this one still has. This side over here is about perfect. If I get this other side, rolling it around the pot works quite well. Just give it a good squeeze. Alright, that's pretty close. It could use a little more, and it's going to be straighter down here at this joint where it's stronger. Unless you taped it, it may not be. So the next step, we cut those two little strips off, about a 1/2 inch each. We got one more fold to do, and we're going to do, just like we did on this seam, we're going to do a 1/4 inch. This side is going to, or one side is going to go inward, the other side is going to go outward, and that's how on the final product, see, this one goes outward, this one goes inward, and that's how you can slide them together, and that's how the whole thing locks itself together real nice. So that's the last step. Just make that 1/4 inch, make that bend there, get it started, use your straight edge. I'll do that off camera and be right back. Okay, I've got those creases started. There's the one going outward. There's that one going inward. And once again, we'll just kind of press them, work them down slowly. Same with this one on the outer edge. And as we did previously, take our straight edge or something heavy, kind of press that down, give it a good crease, but not too hard. All right, and that there, then these two pieces will slide together. Now, one thing I've found, this outer side, it helps if you lift one corner just a little bit. See if this will show on camera. I don't know if it's going to focus in or not. But just lift this corner a little bit and you can leave it bent out, and that makes it easier than to slide it into position. And if you do it right, it's not enough, it doesn't stick out enough that it's going to actually snag. And now, see, I can't get it in here, so I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to lift this one bottom edge just a little bit. And just kind of work it as needed until they slide right on together, like so. Boom. Now you can see it's a little out of round, so this is where you kind of roll it in your fingers. This is the final touches. Just kind of work out the kinks, get it to where when you sit it down, it sits nice and round, and you're basically there. You've got one step left. What I like about this windscreen, I said earlier why I don't like foil. Foil actually to me is too lightweight. I'll have my pot sitting here, and if it's foil, it'll blow, you know, the wind will blow it around, and then my alcohol stove is licking up against the foil or put out or whatever. I find that this windscreen has just enough weight of its own that it stays in position, but it's also really lightweight. So it's a good mix. So you've got your windscreen that fits together real nice. You can slide it apart, and it's nice if when it slides apart it tries to bend outwards, because then when you slip it in your pot, it'll hug right up against the sides and you can keep stuff and other stuff in there. Now I said there's one more step left, and that is basically to punch ventilation holes in the bottom. And you can use, I didn't cover it earlier, an optional piece of equipment for that is to use a paper hole punch. Your results may vary. If it's a brand new punch, I've had it punch great holes, but these were punched with an older one, and some of them are pretty ragged. So I didn't list it in the included materials because you can use it, but you can also just take your knife and cut out some little square holes. They obviously don't have to be round. And do as many as you think you need. This one here has plenty. I've never had issues with airflow on this one. The one that I did earlier with the Goodnight has even more, you know, spaced about 1/4 of an inch apart there. So that's basically it. Punch some air holes in it and you're done. And you have the coolest looking windscreen in camp. As far as sizing, again, you want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with your handle, and also make sure that when it's locked together, this is just tip, you do whatever you think will work best for your pot. I find that with your pot sitting here, you want at least 1/2 of an inch all the way around, or else the flames can lick up, and these cans do have a plastic liner inside that can burn. But anyway, let's go. The video went on way longer than I thought it would for a tutorial on how to make a DIY beer can windscreen, but there you go. Snazzy, slick looking, Colorado microbrew inspired beer can windscreen. Completely free, minimal tools, just a little bit of effort and patience, and you're off to the races. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks everybody for your patience. Thanks for watching.